This is a real disappointment. It's a disheartening step back for rabbit care and the changes we are striving for. Hello, my name's Leanna. I am a positive reinforcement animal trainer. This is Pepper and Wally down here. We are the Bunnies Brigade and we're here to help others rethink rabbit care. If you watched our last video, you'll know we have made a big move from the US. And let me welcome you to our new home. Well, this is where we've been for the time being anyway. We've not really made it our own because we're actually going to be moving somewhere much more permanent. We're excited to say that we are purchasing our first property and going through all that paperwork as we speak. And of course, when the time comes, we will share that with you and how we configure Pepper and Wally's new space without the confines of renting. Very exciting. We are in the UK now, in a quiet town not far from London. It's a big environmental change from our main road facing LA apartment, and the rabbits are loving the peace and quiet. Wally's even started snoring, or I don't know, maybe we just didn't hear the snoring over the traffic. So I wanted to share a few other thoughts about our journey, so I figured I'd made this little part too. First of all, it's come to my attention that since our flight with Finnair, they have changed their pet policy and are no longer allowing rabbits to fly in the cabin when departing non-EU countries. This is a real disappointment. It's a disheartening step back for rabbit care and the changes we are striving for. Because the truth is, more owners will choose to relinquish their rabbits if they're in a situation where they have to relocate and there's no safe, stress-free and cost-effective way to transport them. It actually only cost us like $100 per rabbit to do our trip. But why aren't airlines allowing rabbits on board? I don't get it. Why are dogs and cats and ferrets permitted while rabbits and other small animals are not? No one on either of our flights even noticed Pepper and Wally were on board, so I can't imagine customers are complaining. Rabbit allergies are rare. You can't say the same for cat allergies. And if it's the hay that's the excuse, which in actual fact generally is the case when someone believes they are allergic to rabbits, then there are ways around that also, in the form of hay pellets and cubes. I'm just so sorry for anyone trying to plan a similar move to ours. I wanted that video to be like, hey, this is how you do it. It's super easy, nothing to worry about. Like, if your life is requiring you to relocate like we had to, please don't let this deter you. I would recommend looking at Italy's ITA Airways. They were another option for us at the time. I have checked their policy recently and it is quite vague now, but you can call their customer services for more details. And if anyone does do that, do let us know in the comments what they say. And if any viewers know of any other international airlines that will allow rabbits in the cabin, then definitely leave a comment because you could really help others. Know that airlines are changing their policies all the time. So keep checking back on their pages. And, you know, if all else fails, my suggestion would be to think about fragmenting your flight if you can. That way you can do as much of your journey as you can with your rabbit by your side in the cabin. And, you know, if one leg has to be in the cargo hold, well, I believe that's better than letting go of part of your family and potentially adding to the already overwhelming number of rabbits in need of homes. Let's be hopeful. Let's keep fighting for change. Let's hope airlines start allowing rabbits in the cabin because they deserve better, you guys. Did you know that you can now donate to our channel? Help us spread the word with more great content by sending us a super thanks. Click on the thanks button below to donate. Many thanks to Oka7771 and Carl Kalin for already contributing a couple of dollars. Thank you so much. Even if it's just $2 or $3, pounds, euros, yen, I can't tell you how much it means to us and our mission. But if you're not in a position to do that, but you'd still like to show your support, you can always hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you should definitely do that, as well as ring that bell to be notified about our next video. So on to the next. I completely forgot to show you the bunny first aid kit I packed for the trip, which is really quite terrible of me. I actually did remember when we got to France, and I did film a little something extra, but when I came to edit the last video, it felt a little tacked onto the end, and it really shouldn't be, because it's one of the most important things to organise when travelling with your rabbit. See how terrible I am for forgetting. So, here's some unseen footage for you.
We've been here for 2 nights now, and Wally actually didn't do too well for about a day or so. He did get quite stressed. I think it was because of that whole ordeal trying to get to the hotel, because he was fine during the flight. But he wasn't great. He wasn't eating, he wasn't pooping, he was sitting in the same spot and not moving, and I got very worried about him, but luckily I had a little emergency first aid kit that I brought with me, and it got me thinking I hadn't shown you what I packed, so I want to show you right now. This is our little emergency first aid kit. We have a lot more stuff in our home first aid kit, but this is one I packed that's kind of like easy access for our journey. Even if you're just going on a short road trip, make sure you pack some of these things, because you never know when stasis might happen. It can set in from stress, and you need to be able to react to that and act accordingly. I just want to show you first of all the stuff you can buy over the counter, which I will link in the description below. Starting with, of course, critical care. Every rabbit owner knows about critical care. Obviously I had to open this packet because I had to give it to Wally. You mix it up with a little water until it's like a baby food consistency, and then I gave like 15 mils every 3 hours, and I think I gave him about 3 or 4 doses of that until he was eating normally. Then there's baby gas drops. They are great for helping with stasis. What you're looking for when you buy this is the active ingredient being Simethicone. And what you want to do is give like 1 to 2 cc's of that every hour for the first 3 hours. And then you want to give 1 cc's every like 3 to 8 hours as needed. But obviously if you get to that point, you should probably be seeking veterinary attention anyway. And then some syringes. I bought this one from Amazon. This is great for administering the critical care. It's like a 20 ml syringe. I have a whole pack of them here, which again I will link in the description. And then I have this one. It came with the gas drops, and then these I kind of collected from the vet over time. I have hundreds of those things. And then I get on to the stuff that was prescribed. Now I am not a vet, so anything I show you, make sure you speak to the vet before you administer anything like this, and make sure you speak to them about dosage. This is meloxicam. It's a painkiller. I have a lot of it because I was given a prescription for it once for Pepper. A gut stimulant, an intestinal stimulant. These are both the same. This one maybe not so vital, but I have it because Wally fell ill back in October, and this was one of the medications they gave me, so I kind of kept it around because I figured it could be helpful for stasis. The other thing I have are just some eye drops for Pepper. These were prescribed for Pepper because you may or may not have noticed, but she has a cataract, so we have to kind of monitor that and give her that whenever her eye looks a little sore. I did also have to administer fluids to Wally last night. This is his fluids. You will not be able to get hold of anything like this unless you talk to the vet, so I think it's okay to show you, but I've been trained to do this when he was sick in October. These are the needles for it, and this big syringe is what we use to draw it up. So I kind of made an educated guess that he was dehydrated because I was monitoring him during all the flights and he hadn't drunk anything, and then he had quite a lot of diarrhea, so I figured he was dehydrated, and I gave him this last night, and then early the next morning he was munching away and hopping around like normal.
It's difficult to say if Wally's stasis was a result of dehydration or stress, especially because of what happened with the taxi journey in Paris. I will put my hands up and say that it might have been avoided had I syringe fed him some water every couple of hours throughout the journey. I think I was just so concerned about just letting him be, because I know that he doesn't like being handled against his will, and I didn't want to contribute any further to his stress, you know. But, you know, it's a lesson learned on prioritization, I suppose. Like, at the end of the day, I'm only human, I make mistakes, and I do the best I can with the knowledge I have in any given moment. But yeah, in hindsight, I would definitely advise, if you're planning a long trip with your rabbits and you notice they are not drinking by themselves or not getting water from their veggies, be prepared to keep them hydrated by gently syringing some water into their mouth. And take it slow, don't force it, because a little is better than nothing at all. So learn from my mistakes and always have a first aid kit prepared in case of emergency. That's it for this one, you guys. I'm going to leave you with some images of Pepper and Wally enjoying their new lives in England. See you in the next one.
Wally, leave it.